These blown pipelines are currently spilling a colossal amount of natural gas into the ocean, making it one of the most monstrous disasters against the environment. But how can a steel pipeline protected by reinforced concrete just suddenly burst? Was it really an accident? Or is it a Russian propaganda? Or sabotage and stage? Many conclude that this was a sabotage, but who really did it? News and media all points to the obvious, which is Putin.
Thousands of tons of natural gas are leaking into the Baltic Sea after the sabotage of the Nord Stream gas pipeline. And all fingers are pointing at Vladimir Putin. The Russian president stands accused of blowing up the underwater gas link between Russia and Germany with 2 explosions.
People are obsessed with the obvious madman. Putin did it. Although a closer look at it will give you second thoughts. Why would Putin destroy and blow up his own pipeline? It really does not make any sense. Putin's power and wealth came from natural gas. Billions and billions of euros were in the hands of Russia in the first months of the Ukraine invasion. These pipelines were the final grip Russia had over Europe. But now that the pipeline has blown up, Putin decreases in influence and power. Powerful people can conceal the truth in the eyes of man. But the book of Revelation teaches a great white throne judgment that will reveal every man's motive faithfully chronicled with terrible exactness in the books of heaven.
Mr. President, I have wanted to ask you about this Nord Stream project that you've long opposed.
If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
I promise you we'll be able to do it. I promise you we'll be able to do it.
And after 8 months, a sabotage happened. It is quite evident that America will benefit from the Russian pipelines blown up. Russia has less power now that the pipeline is in catastrophe, which means a higher possibility in losing the war with Ukraine. Europe is in trouble now and will go to another country that sells natural gases, which is none other than America. And Biden knows this. What is surprising is that after the day the Russian pipeline blew up, a new non-Russian pipeline was launched. What a good time to launch a business just when your biggest competitor blew up. America's National Security Advisor, Condoleezza Rice, openly admitted how the US wanted Europe to stop buying Russian natural gas and buy American natural gas.
For the long run, you simply want to change the structure of energy dependence. You want to depend more on the North American energy platform. You want to have pipelines that don't go through Ukraine and Russia. For years, we've tried to get the Europeans to be interested in different pipeline routes. It's time to do that.
Same for Victoria Nuland, American diplomat, currently serving as Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs. She made a statement before the Ukraine invasion. In one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
With regard to Nord Stream 2, we continue to have very strong and clear conversations with our German allies, and I want to be clear with you today. If Russia invades Ukraine, one way or another, Nord Stream 2 will not move forward.
The new Baltic pipe was unveiled. It was built by Norway, Poland, and Denmark and intentionally runs through the same route as the Nord Stream pipelines. This new Baltic pipeline will get solid economic force and power that Russia once had. Antony Blinken, Secretary of the State, says this was a huge victory for the United States and also strongly implying that US did not have anything to do with it. And people that does not believe this is under Russian propaganda. Matthew 24 verse 6, and you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you're not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Uncontrollable wars, pestilence, and immorality is spreading like wildfires all over the world. And they all echoes the words of Jesus about the final condition of the world before He returns. Satan will sabotage God's execution of judgment for the wicked. John now gives a more detailed description of how the destruction of the wicked will take place. Revelation 20:11-15. And I saw a great white throne and one sitting upon it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled, and no place was found for them. And I saw the dead, the great and the small, standing before the throne, and the books were open, and another book was open, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged by what has been written in the books according to their works. As Satan and his army surround the holy city and are about to carry out their attack, God suddenly appears seated on a throne. God's throne, which had been a source of hope and deliverance for God's people throughout the great controversies history, now becomes a source of terror to the wicked. Every person who has ever lived on earth but spurned God is brought to judgment before the throne of God. People from all